There's a world out there, it's a digital maze where dollars move in mysterious ways. Complex systems, rules, and regulations. The payments professor sparks revelations. No need to fear the FedNow.
Hey everybody, and welcome to the Payments Podium. Today we're going to be talking about one of my favorite subjects, getting accredited. If you want to have a career in payments that just takes off, you need to get accredited. I mean, it's the thing to do. And to talk about it, I'm honored. We have got, I would say the queen of accreditation over at Nacha with us. Stephanie Prebish, would you please say hi to everybody?
Hi, everybody. And I prefer the princess of accreditation. I think queen makes me too old.
Okay, the princess. I'm okay with that. You got it. And today I'm spoiling a little bit by even just saying this. The newest, latest, greatest accreditation being offered by Nacha. What is it? Tell me what it is.
So our brand new accreditation is the AFPP, the Accredited Faster Payments Professional. And we just named the first class this April. So we're super excited here at Nacha.
Okay, I'm super excited too. And I know a lot of times the accreditations offered by Nacha, there's several, the AAP, the APRP, that it's in the name, the Accredited Faster Payments Professional. But a little bit more, what is an Accredited Faster Payments Professional?
So the AFPP is someone who is incredibly familiar with all of the faster payments options. So not just instant payments, but also same-day ACH and those issued by the card networks. We are working in partnership with the U.S. Faster Payments Council. So we're really doing everything we can to encompass all of these faster payments options.
Okay, that in itself is cool too. Now, I know some of the accreditations have been around for a little while. This is the latest one. How did it get started? Where'd the idea come from to get started for doing an AFPP?
Yeah, this is actually a pretty cool story because the AFPP started in the Payments Innovation Alliance as a project team. So we were working with the Alliance project team and with the payments associations all over the country to develop a certificate program for faster payments professionals. So with AAP and APRP, you had what we call source material. So you had the Nacha operating rules, you had Regulation E, and so on. You didn't really have a set of source materials for a faster payments professional. So what we did with the certificate program was really set out to create this base of knowledge. And so we call it our body of knowledge. And from the certificate program, we found there was interest in the industry and moved that into an accreditation program.
All right, that is cool because here, two things. Number one, we mentioned Payments Innovation Alliance, and I am probably one of the biggest fans there is out there. If you don't know what that one is, everybody go to Nacha's website. You can go to the Payments Innovation section of it, and you can learn more. And I've got several podcasts that talk about how wonderful that is because that's industry experts around the world getting together. And it sounds like, in this case, industry experts around the world got together, and an accreditation program came out of it.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay, and you mentioned Faster Payments Council too. So Payments Innovation, Faster Payments Council, Nacha, and that's where all of this comes from. But the next question I would ask, and again, I got the certification. I absolutely love it. I got several certifications, several accreditations, I should say it correctly, several accreditations that are out there. Why would somebody want to go get accredited?
Well, there are two answers to that question. So just to get accredited through Nacha specifically, you're showing your expertise and you're doing it for yourself. So any accreditation that you earn is portable. So if you leave your job, you're still an AAP. For your company, your organization is showing they are investing in their employees and giving them expertise in these areas. So obviously the ACH network is super important. Risk is crucial and critical in these days. And the faster payments professional, I think, is really important because of the movement globally towards faster payments, and especially over the past 6-7 years here in the U.S. domestically, with the addition of the real-time payments network and FedNow, and of course, the granddaddy of them all, same-day ACH.
I gotta agree. And I mean, I can remember in 2016 talking about same day ACH, wondering what it was going to be like. And then it has exploded over the years. I mean, it's just massive growth. And we're starting to see a lot of growth with the instant payment networks of RTP and FedNow. And the card network's doing quite well as well. So I totally agree with you. It is the future of payments in many different ways. And the more somebody knows about those and shows their accreditation, they're not just helping their own career, they're helping their own organization as well. But maybe here's another question. What organizations does it serve? Is this something that only bank and credit union people should be getting, or is it the bigger industry?
No, it's definitely the bigger industry. It's not just the banks and credit unions. It's the government officials who are, with audits coming up. You also have the providers who are connecting some of the smaller banks to the real-time payment networks. It's the fintechs who are offering these kinds of services. It's really anybody who is involved in payments, because as you said, faster payments are the future of the industry. So getting your foot in now and becoming an accredited professional is really showing the trajectory of your organization.
I agree. And it's interesting because we've mentioned AAP, and I know some of the people who took the first AAP. And it's interesting, and some of them in the second year or third year. Everybody in those first 5 years will mention, I was in this class, I was in this class, I was in this class. And it seems like I know it actually, in AFPP, you could be in that group when it comes to AFPP. You could be, we've had first year, we got second year coming up, right?
That's absolutely right. Yeah. So we will open registration in October for the 2026 window, which is going to be in February of 2026. Now, Kevin, you were in the first class of AFPP, but you were also in the first class of APRP, weren't you?
I was, yes, absolutely.
So it's getting in on the inside, getting in on the beginning. You become an excellent advocator for the accreditations and for just showing your career path and really cementing your expertise.
I gotta say, because of getting into the first class of both of them, APRP and AFPP, I think that getting in early has advantages. And that main advantage is you are hungry for it, and you got to go out and seek the knowledge in some ways, even though there's some great resources, and we're going to talk about those resources. But it just makes you want to do something and be involved and be able to say, I was part of these first original classes of this, and watching it grow. There's just something about it that just makes it more special. I think it's special to begin with, but it just makes it more special. But the resources, that is a key thing to getting the exam. And you mentioned the dates too. I want to make sure that we don't miss those. October will be registration. Was that correct?
That's correct. Yes.
And then actual February is when the window will open up for being able to take the test.
Correct. Yes.
Okay. Now, resources, that's key, is studying, preparing for this exam. I know I worked with several payment associations. I remember there's the AFPP guide. What are the resources people would look for? Where do they go get them?
I think that this is the best thing about the AFPP. So as I mentioned, we didn't have a body of knowledge for the AFPP program, and now we do. When you register for the exam, you will receive the AFPP handbook, and all of the exam questions will be taken from the information that's contained in that handbook.
Okay, so reading the handbook, that is definitely probably the key source then of going through to learn what you need to learn for that. If somebody wants to study even more, what else can they do? I mean, what other resources are available out there for getting some training?
Yeah, I don't think that the handbook, just reading it's going to be enough. You go to your payments associations for training. In our first batch, first class of AFPPs, were a number of the Payments Association training staff. So they are the experts already, and getting the training from the Payments Associations is the best thing that you can do to prepare for the exam.
I second that. I read the handbook, and if it hadn't have been for attending some of those classes, participating in those classes, I don't think there's any way I would have passed, because there's a lot of information in it. It's incredibly good information, but it's working with those experts that help it just cement in that, oh, that's how this works, and this is how that fits in. Can I say this too? Would maybe being part of the Faster Payments Council, maybe just at least attending their meetings or attending Payments Innovation Alliance meetings, would that help as well?
It absolutely will. That and even TBI homeschools coming up next month, and we will have classes getting ready for the AFPP exam as well. So anything you can do now, even before registration opens, is making sure that you're familiar with what the blueprint of the exam is. And you can find the entire blueprint on the exam on our website at nacha.org.
So, and if I remember right, that blueprint is going to be things like understanding operations. It's going to be knowing what are the risks that come along with the different systems. It would be things like understanding what are the cycle dates and the RTP dates. What are the cutoff windows for same day ACH? All that stuff.
All that stuff, yeah. And we wanted to be really transparent with this exam. So the blueprint actually goes into a lot more detail than you would see on the blueprint for the AAP exam. We really are going into what are called KSAs, which are knowledge standard areas. And it's digging down deep into what you need to know in order to pass this exam.
Okay, and I got to second that one too. When I first looked at the blueprint, okay, my first reaction was, "Oh my lord," because it was so in depth and there was so much to it. But then the reality sank in that it's like this is tremendously helping. It's actually guiding to know that you really do need to know these different areas, and it's more precision. So I love that transparency in there, and that what you're doing to be able to help the people out there taking the test, because it's not just, well, it's just this general area. It gives the specifics.
It absolutely does. And I want to correct myself because we rewrote the AAP blueprint year before last. So the KSAs are now available for the AAP. For the longest time they weren't. So I definitely misspoke, and they are there.
So they are there for that certificate accreditation.
For AAP, yeah. AAP, APRP, and AFPP, there are KSAs for everything now.
Because I know a lot of people ask me, and I felt the same way. You're going into the test and you don't want to go into it blind. You want an idea of how to prepare and what's going to be there, because the worst thing, especially people who have test anxiety, is suddenly to be hit with a question and be like, where did this come from? How in the world can I be asked this? And that's not an issue when you have something that detailed to go by.
No, it absolutely isn't. And we are really very careful when we're proofreading these exams to make sure that there is something that ties back to a source. We absolutely want to make sure that we're not trying to trick people. And there's this perception out there in the industry that these exams are written so that we're trying to trick you, and that is absolutely not the case. We are one of my main jobs here at Nacha is that I have to protect the credential. I have to protect the value of these credentials. And I take that very seriously. I want people to pass these exams because the folks who are passing them are the future of our industry. And we need to make sure that we're setting everyone up for success, but also we're protecting the networks that these transactions are flowing over.
So you're not just the princess of accreditation, you are the protector of accreditation.
I am. That's my superpower, is protecting these accreditations.
That's the best superpower ever. I mean, I've told people mine is I can read rules and regulations and tell you what they say in English. I like yours a lot better. There's no doubt about it. And I want to actually, jump on that too, is I get that question a lot from people of, are these tests made so that nobody can pass them? Are they trying to trick us in there? And I explained to them, no. I've actually, worked, it's been years ago now, on writing some accreditation type questions with groups, and explained to them that's actually not an easy job. That is a challenge in itself to write what we call good questions. And in writing the good questions, it is for the purpose just to validify you have that knowledge and you have that understanding in those different areas, but it's never meant to trick you. And we, like you even said, we want people to pass for the future of the industry, but we want to make sure that they're showing and demonstrating the knowledge to earn that accreditation.
That's 100% correct. We don't want to say somebody is an expert and certify them as an expert if they aren't an expert. So we take it very seriously. I think that I've changed my stance on writing questions. I think that writing the question is easy. It's writing the wrong answers that's the hard part. So what we call a distractor, those are the hardest things to write. So knowing the question and knowing the answer, that's easy. It's writing the wrong answers, which is the hard part. And that's where I think we get this perception that we're trying to trick people. And I'll tell you, we're not. We want to make sure that every question has one correct answer. And it's not one that's more correct. It's one correct answer. So one of the things that we hear the most is that people just didn't read the whole question or they didn't read all of the answers. And we've worked in AAP to get from a 4-question answer to a 3-question answer. So instead of four options, we're trying to make it to go down to 3. And we started with 3 options with APRP and AFPP because we found that statistically, it doesn't make that big of a difference in the level of expertise of the people who are passing the exams to give them a 33 and a third percent chance instead of a 25% chance.
Okay, that is really good to know. And I totally agree. Distractors are, wow, hard because they've got to be something that could be reasonably correct. It's not just we make up something out of nowhere. Now let's jump ahead to this. Somebody's taken the exam, they passed, they're accredited. What do they have to do to stay accredited? Are they going to have to take the test again every year, or what's the best way of going about to maintain accreditation?
Yeah, so here's the thing with AFPP that's a little bit different from AAP and APRP is you'll pass your exam and become an AFPP in March, which means that you have 9 months until you are officially accredited in our system. Now, you're still an AFPP as of the date that you pass the exam, but you don't start earning continuing education credits until the following January. So you get 9 months free, basically. I know, it's kind of cool. But over the next 5 years, you will have to earn 60 hours of continuing education credits with no more than 20 in 1 year. And you can get those credits by attending Faster Payments Council meetings, attending Alliance meetings, attending Nacha Smarter Faster Payments, attending all of the Nacha events. So there are so many ways for you to earn. And if you are in AAP, APRP, AFPP, if you're a double accredited or triple accredited, you can earn all of your credits at the same time because practically everything that is AAP or APRP will be eligible for AFPP.
Okay, that is awesome. So 9 months free, then 5 years, 60 credits, a maximum of 20 per year. So you could really do it in 3 years if you do it right. And then
Yep.
what I heard is the best way to get those credits is go to Smarter Faster Payments every year, because to me, that's like the premier event. But there are others. There are others.
Yeah. Either one, Payments Institute or Faster Payments or Smarter Faster Payments. Either one.
I agree with Payments Institute as well. And of course, the Faster Payments Council meetings, Payments Innovation Alliance, working with your local payments associations, or they're not regional anymore, but the payments associations, to be able to get all of that. Because I also know as these systems are changing and, ACH rules get updated on a yearly basis, that a lot of times going to the rules update classes is a great way to, because then you're staying up to date with what changes in the industry.
Absolutely, absolutely. And the TCH offers a lot of training on RTP. The Fed offers training on FedNow. Those things would be eligible for credits as well.
So there's
And volunteer opportunities. I'm sorry, Kevin, didn't mean to interrupt. But volunteer opportunities. Once you become accredited, um, we have committees that work to write these exams and create the policies for the exams. So you become eligible to serve on the AFPP oversight panel or the AAP Blue Ribbon panel. We go up for nominations for those every 2 years. So that's another thing to do is really use it and get involved.
So you can give back. You can go through this process, get your accreditation, and if you're one of those who really, like you said, get involved and want to give back to the industry, you can do all those things. Get on the panel, start writing the questions, help participate in making actually an even better program.
That's absolutely right. We really count on all of our volunteers to help us out and write these questions, work on the handbooks with us. We are so lucky to have had such a strong and powerful panel to start this. I just so happy and pleased with the folks who are leading this charge.
I got to say too. I mean, people who watch the payments podium a lot, you will hear me say, "My friends in the industry." These are my friends in the industry. I mean, people way smarter than me. Let's just put it that way. That are out there. They're the ones making this.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, you were on the Blue Ribbon panel for a while, so you know that these meetings, they can get contentious because we're fighting over the answers. I mean, there was a there was a web tell question that I didn't know if people were going to walk out surviving. So, we want to write the best questions, and having the people who are already accredited is the best way to do that.
Agreed. And what you just attested to is the passion that is there from the people in the industry to be able to bring the best products and services possible out.
100%. And Nacha relies so heavily on our volunteers. We love them so much, and we get to meet so many great people from our volunteerism. So it's not just the AAP and APRP, it's all the Payments Innovation Alliance, it's Rules and Ops, it's the conference planning. I mean, we could go on and tell you all about volunteer opportunities in Nacha, but that's not what we're here to talk about.
All right. Well, Stephanie, I think it's amazing. I love the work that you're doing. And for my last question, I know a lot of my listeners are going, you didn't start with the right first question. I'm going to ask you what I normally ask everybody who comes on the payments podium. And that is this. How did you get started in electronic payments? How did you end up where you are today?
So I was with a super regional bank that got bought, and I took the severance and embarked on just a plain job search, and I found Nacha, and I came in the system of fines, the national system of fines, and then I worked in the rules department for a while, and I moved over to the conference side in 2007, and then in 2019 I took over the entire association side of Nacha. So it was a big progression, but Nacha is a great place to work. I've been here for 21 years.
That's an incredible journey right there. I mean, really starting off from leaving a financial institution to becoming the princess and protector of accreditation. I mean, we can't let that one go. I want to thank you so much for being here today. This has been a true pleasure for me to be able to have this conversation with you. I'm a huge fan of the AFPP. And where do people go if they want to learn more?
www.nacha.org.
All right, you got it. www.nacha.org. Folks, if you want to get an accreditation, there are several that are out there, and I'm a fan of all of them. But this is the part where I tell everybody, if there's somebody or something that needs to be on the payments podium, email me, kevin@paymentsprofessor.com. I will do my best to make sure we get them on there. Otherwise, for today, class dismissed.
There's a world out there, it's a digital maze where dollars move in mysterious ways. Complex systems, rules, and regulations. The payments professor sparks revolution.